Okay, I've got a musical episode of Adventures in the Meat Suit today. I'm joined today by Adam from The Adjusted. Is that right, Adam?
Yeah, that's right.
So whereabouts are you?
I live in the Midlands, Birmingham.
I thought so. Probably near my mum.
Oh yes, do you come from Birmingham yourself, or?
No, I don't, but I come from Northampton, but my mum is in Stourbridge area.
Right. Oh yeah, I know Stourbridge. Yeah. I've got no heating today, so hence I'm in my coat and hat.
You don't want to be recognised on my channel. That's the truth.
Well, I do live in a dodgy area. I'm very, very likely to end up in a punch-up with the lads down the shops if they recognise me.
Yeah, no worries. No, totally understood. Now, for everybody watching this, Adam sent me an email a couple of weeks ago saying that he was channeling songs. And I tell you what I'm going to do, Adam. I'm going to play about a minute of the song that you sent me.
Okay.
And just so that people can... And I'll put a link to this below. If this goes a bit glitchy, then I'll put a link below anyway so you can go and watch it.
Okay.
But it's worth having a quick look at this because it's great. So here we go. So I ended up watching all of it. Why not?
It's quite a short song, short and sweet.
That's great. It's great. I mean, I did chuckle when I saw it. I mean, where'd you get the Epstein mask? Who's making Epstein masks? That was the first question.
Me.
Did you make that?
Yeah.
That's brilliant. So you're not just a musician, you're a all round artist then.
Yeah, I like to think so.
That's absolutely brilliant. And yeah, there's a few things there. It's great. I mean, firstly, I'm surprised it's still up on YouTube.
Yes. Yeah, me too. I mean, it's not really getting many views, so I'm sure it'll get taken down eventually.
Yeah, that tends to happen. But I just love it. It is what I love about it is that it is time to just channel art into these subjects because it's about making these subjects accessible. Even if somebody watches that and goes, "Oh God, he's got a David Icke book there," blah blah blah. It's you know what I think? I think it's time that I'm just going to make sure I'm recording this the right way because I always record it. I want to record it with the side by sides, but I always get it wrong. I think it's time for the people who are asleep to look at what the truth about what's going on in various different formats, whether it's a song, a poem, or a speech, a TV program, a movie, whatever, and finally ask themselves the question, instead of going, "Oh, that guy's a nutter," saying,
Yeah.
"Why are they doing that?
Yeah.
Why are they doing that?" It's just so. Thank you for doing it. Is the first thing I wanted to say.
Oh, well, no, I mean, I'm here to thank you for helping me write it in a way, because I've always been a casual conspiracy theorist, as they say. But when this song sort of came to me, I got the first verse and chorus, and then I thought, right, I'm going to go deeper and deeper into the rabbit's hole, and boy, was I not prepared. So, you know, people like yourself really helped me through that process.
Well, how long ago was that?
4.5 months ago.
Is that all?
I'm really new to this whole idea that there's a satanic elite running the world. I mean, I still wake up a lot of mornings thinking, have I gone nuts?
Well, yeah. I've been like that for about 20 years now.
How did you first sort of awaken to it all?
Well, the short version is that I was a brainwashed kid not far from you in the 70s, and I wanted to escape my village, so I wanted to become a pilot. So I focused on becoming a pilot, and I got into the Air Force, and I started training. And when I was in there, I saw that the government was lying about certain things that I didn't expect them to be lying about. And then 2 of my friends committed suicide, and I started questioning why I was there and what I was doing. And my dad had just died, and I was like, Jesus, I'm being trained to actually take people's lives. And it's kind of like, you don't think about that.
Yeah.
You really don't, you know, especially when you're a kid. And they get you when you're young, and they brainwash you when you're young to do the job. So I resigned, which was weird, because I'd spent, 12 years of my life focusing on this massive ambition, and then I just let it go. And then I was writing poetry, and then I became a stand-up comic, and I was doing journalism, I was writing, and I became a publisher. And then I just had this journey, and the teachers appear on the journey when you're ready for them.
Yeah.
Okay. So I just kept, meeting certain people who would change the course of my life, and I would go. So it was about following that course, really. It made me unemployable as well, because I'd go in to get a job if I was skint, and they look at my CV and say, "No, sorry, I don't believe it." they thought I was lying. So I had to go into business and become self-sufficient and become the sovereign in effect. And then really there were 2 big triggers for really going deep into the rabbit. Well, 3 big triggers. What firstly was, and I've talked about this in other videos, I was given a copy of the Protocols of the Elders of Zion in 1999 by a Canadian stand-up in Manchester called Alan Park, who I've interviewed on this channel.
I saw the interview with him. Yes.
Yeah. So that was a big shock to me, because when you read that, and it's not anti-Semitic, before anybody says that, it's although it was released in 1905, designed to create hatred towards the Jews, but the things that are in that book go back 500 years. If you watch Full Cabal, the sequel, you'll see there's loads of evidence for these protocols go back a long time. So it was then so it was really about 21 years ago that I realized actually the world is run by crazy, psychotic, satanic, probably not humans, investing. And then, 2 years later, 9/11 happened, and my friend Jeff was in one of the towers, and that was a big thing. And well, it's huge. And then I got involved. Then I got
forced into this, haven't you? You've been
well, that's the thing. Yeah.
Many.
I was recollecting yesterday about a house party about 10 years ago at my house, when I ended up standing up on a chair, screaming at everybody in the room, saying, "You don't understand. They want us all dead." And they sat there going, "Yeah, we know, we understand, we feel it, Mark, but you got to vote Labour, otherwise the Tories get in." And I'm like, "For fuck's sake!" And I had to leave the room, because nobody understood. And you look around at everybody in a mask, and they still don't get it. They still think they've just accepted the new normal. Here we go. I mean, I don't want to talk bad about my brother, but my brother my mum told me the other day that my brother said he can't come round to visit, even though he's around the corner, because he's got to be in his bubble, and she's not in his bubble. And I'm like, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's been like something everything we do in life all makes sense in retrospect.
Yeah.
All the skills and talents we have, and
Yes.
people we meet and everything else make sense in retrospect. So yeah, I've had no choice at all. Which is why I started this channel. I had no choice. This was like, right, you're ready. Now start talking.
Yeah. I sort of feel like I've had no choice with this song. I mean, what happened to me is about 4 years ago, I just suddenly started getting these songs, and I wasn't even trying to write songs. I was just sort of playing the guitar, just as a sort of a release from the day's work, if you like. And then suddenly the songs just started to come. And my first song, it came to me whilst watching Trump drive to the White House to move in. So the song ended up being a massive slagging off of Trump. So I've kind of, since I wrote this song, I realised that I've kind of done the man wrong. So I've got to start making amends.
Well, I think a lot of us have. You know, I think that's the character that he was playing. You know,
Yeah.
to be able to do what he's done, he's had to play the part that he's played.
Yeah, I
And
believe.
it's been a very long-term plan, in my
Yeah.
opinion. Hence doing The Apprentice and all that. I think that was all part of the plan. Get him in people's living rooms, getting people to understand that he's good at firing people and running things, so that, you know, and just being, and also
figure.
Yeah, and also, you know, is borrowing money off the Rothschilds and going to those parties and being so that they would let him run.
Yes.
Knowing that they were going to beat him. This is what they did with Ross Perot. And I think Ross Perot was one of the good guys. He was running against, I think he was running in the 80s against Reagan, but he was one of the good guys, and they decimated him. And I think the good guys, I'm just going to say good guys because it's easy, right? But the guys that are on the side of God, on the side of righteousness, whatever terminology you want to use, they've learned a lot of harsh lessons over the years. And Trump needed a lot of people to hate him. He had to be a divisive character.
Yeah. I don't think he could have walked into the White House and assumed the control of everything he's got control of if they didn't think there was a chance they could deal with him, you know, do a deal with him.
Oh, they had him beat. There was no question they had him beat. They had the voter fraud stuff back then.
Yeah.
Something happened, you know, I don't know how he won, even though his win was far bigger, because they cheated then. You know, who wants to vote for Hillary Clinton?
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank God, we'd all be dead by now.
I know. Well, so I've heard. Yeah. I mean, this is new to me. I've had a summer of a lot of sleepless nights writing this song. Jesus.
Yeah, it is. A lot of people go through. I mean, over the years, I've worked a lot of people up over the years, or witnessed them waking up, and the first thing is disbelief, and then it's fear, and then it's a big depression.
Yeah.
And then it's when they get through that, it's like, right, what the fuck can we do?
Yeah.
You know, and here we are doing something.
Yeah, and that's, I think, you know, certain people, you can go out, there's quite a few people out there that you can sort of listen to that do similar things to yourself. I think one of the reasons I resonated with you is you've still got quite an attitude and a sense of humor. And I think that's what I wanted to put into this song. You know, yes, there's the psychopaths in charge trying to kill us, but, you know, we can still have a bit of attitude about us.
Well, I think because of the subject matter and because of my understanding of demonic possession, which I've struggled with for 50 years, laughter is the most important thing. It's one of our most incredible weapons that we have against this darkness, because it literally dissipates evil.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, I'm constantly trying to, you know, get slagged off for it sometimes. Why did you interrupt that person? Because you were doing a joke. Well, because, you know, dealing with this, the best, what do we do? Especially British people, what do we do best? We take the piss out of stuff, right? So we've got to do that, because then it just takes away their power.
Yeah.
When they've got us in a state of fear, you can't laugh when you're in a state of fear. People lose their sense of humor. And that's they hate it because they've got no sense of humor. They've got no imagination, because it takes imagination to have a sense of humor, you know? And you know, when you get songs and poems and things delivered, I mean, the way you said about it, all my poems are put through me, you know? I only take credit in name because that's to give them an identity. But yeah, laughter's, I appreciate you saying that. Yeah, thank you.
The other thing I kind of dug about you is there's a cynicism to you as well.
Really?
Despite the fact that, there's just an inherent cynicism. And when I first read about all this, I was very cynical, you know, just an innate sort of cynicism underlying, and or just a sarcasm, maybe, I don't know, maybe.
Well, it's funny because most of my friends that have stayed with me for the last 30, 40 years are artistic in some way. They're poets, they're writers, they're playwrights, they're comedians, they're musicians. One of them I was chatting to the other day, and we kind of occasionally touch. I send him my poems whenever I release one, and I say, here's another one to annoy you. And yesterday he said that they don't annoy me, but not, you know, the one before that he said, seriously, you're really aligning yourself with something that's going to be very dangerous, talking about Trump. And I just went, I don't think so. Sorry, mate, I don't think so. I think you'll find that I'm on the right side of history here. And it's difficult when you're dealing with that, because you have to get to a state of grace with it, where where it doesn't matter what anybody thinks.
Yeah, I think I
literally don't care. But I was going to send him a message, actually. I was going to say, right, one day you're going to ask yourself a few questions. Question number one, I've known you 30 years. Is he racist? The answer is no. You know the answer to that is no. Secondly, is he intelligent? You know the answer is yes. Has he got a very high IQ? You know the answer is yes to that. So that eventually you're going to ask yourself the question, why is he pumping out stuff about, you know, Donald Trump and satanic pedophiles? Yeah. Well, because he's right. He's worked it out.
I don't know if you heard, do you know Lynn Wood, who's representing, is it Trump's attorney?
Mm-hmm.
He made a big statement about satanic paedophilia coming out a couple of days ago.
Didn't they? Is he the one who put "Where we go, when we go" all on his Twitter?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah.
If you ever need confirmation that this stuff is coming out, you know, when the top level attorneys in America start to say, you know, start to parrot this stuff, I believe it's going to come out.
My statement to everybody right now is that if the bad guys were in control, we'd all be dead by now.
Yeah.
We would literally be dead, or from nuclear war, from a real virus, or from internment camps. That was the plan. Go and look at the Georgia Guidestones. Keep humanity under 500 million in perpetuity with nature. That was the plan.
Yeah.
That's been the plan for a very, very long time. And when you really start to understand that, it's a spiritual war. You know, I was an atheist for 20 years. I'm not anymore. Well,
up until 4.5 months ago, so was I. That's another journey I'm going to have to have a look at. But, you know, it's not one you can just do, is it?
Well, the thing is, it's nothing to do with religion. You know, religion, they created religions to control us, because we're spirits having a human experience. They know that.
Yeah. One of the reasons I rejected spirituality and God and everything was I read about the Jesuits.
Yeah.
Basically genocide across America, just torturing children, Native American children.
Well, they've been doing it 22,000 kids a day.
Yeah.
22,000 kids a day. That number's so big, most people just go, oh, really? Yeah. They don't actually think about it. But that's what's been going on. They're the same people that, you know, Columbus was a Jesuit. They boiled the Native Americans alive.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys are motherfuckers. And they go back to the Knights Templar, which goes back to the Khazarians, which goes back to the Phoenicians, which goes back to the whole thing. You know, we've been under this spell and this infestation for so long, and it's time to stand up and do something about it, which is what you're doing by writing songs and putting them out.
Yeah. It does feel like it needs to be done. I mean, they've so much of what I hear so many people say everything they've told us is a lie. And the more I read into it, Jesus, the more it's true.
Everything.
Yeah.
Absolutely everything.
You get all these modern artists like Jay-Z and there's a few of them, and they wear that bloody logo with it's like a bloodied face.
Yeah.
It's supposed to relate back to frazzle drip, or there's rumors. I don't exactly know what. But
no,
now
what they do is they take the skin off the face of a child after they've killed it and they wear it.
Yeah. Well, it makes me wonder about that.
Oh yeah. Bowie. If you look at Bowie's last album, it was all about Aleister Crowley.
Yeah.
Dark Star, I think it was, or Black Star.
One of my favourite Bowie songs is Quicksand. That was an earlier one, and he talks about Crowley there.
Yeah, I mean, Crowley, he never hit it in the early days. I mean, the Beatles had Crowley on the cover of Sgt. Pepper's. I mean,
yeah,
Crowley used to do magic just over there, in a castle in the lake with W.B. Yeats. I mean, this stuff's been going on a very, very long time. Yeah. And we've been left in the dark, all of us, and you and me. We've got ancestors that gave up their lives, all of their toil, their labor, to these thieving, evil, child-eating motherfuckers, and it's their time is over. Their time is done. If any of you motherfuckers are watching this, your time is up. You know that.
Yeah. Well, let's hope so. I'll drink to that.
No, hope's not going to do it, mate. It's action.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I'd like to do. Make more songs. Lead, one of the things that I encountered when I first learned about this is how could they hide? And so I'd go on Facebook and sort of share things, and when people would comment, I kind of built up a list of about 4 or 5 people who were slightly left wing, slightly right wing, and as soon as it become uncomfortable for them, they just blamed. It's just so simple. You just create 2 parties, and if it becomes uncomfortable, blame right-wing propaganda or left. It's
divide
so
and conquer.
Yeah.
Divide and conquer. It's as old as the hills, and people won't accept it because they are so emotionally invested in being a Democrat or being Labour or being whatever. And they've got to get over it because those times are gone. That's what the veil lifting means. It's like when we all go, oh fuck, we've all been had.
Yeah.
And that's really, really difficult for people. Nobody likes to be told that they're wrong.
Yes.
And I'm sitting here saying, yeah, I'm right, but at the same time, I might be wrong. Go and question it. Go and do your own research. That's my message to everybody, because you can't. And that's what I love about Q. Have you read Q stuff?
Yes. Yeah.
Q is all about you working it out for yourself.
Yeah. They're trying to train you, aren't they? They're
training us to think again, because we've lost the ability to think.
Yeah.
And we lose that because of the education system and the way that we're spoon-fed news, and the way that jobs are structured. It's all spoon-fed, suckling on the nipple of the state with benefits and all of that crap. And we lose all of our inherent abilities.
I think one of the other fears people is, it is a fear that they don't like to be told they're wrong, but they're also, this is so earth-shattering. It's almost like I was worried I might have to completely reinvent my whole character. But again, I think what I wanted my song to represent is you don't. We can still be who we are. You just have to. It just takes a little while to accept.
It's not your character that needs reinvented, although some people will need their moral compass resetting. It's because a lot of the behaviors that we're suckered into are satanic and demonic in their very nature. But like porn, for example, everybody should give up porn immediately. It's not just that. It's restructuring our belief systems. Most of the things that we believe are true, most people, if they actually think about it and go back and back and back, will understand that those beliefs were put there by somebody.
Yeah.
And I've always understood this. It's just the way that I'm made. And I can very easily dismantle a belief system and keep an open mind to go into something else. I mean, most of the people that slag me off for reading David Icke, for example, I mean, I've loads of friends I've lost, especially through David Icke, 10 years ago, 8 years ago, 7 years ago, who just kept going at me. Oh, he believes in lizards. You're a fucking idiot for believing. was like, well, have you ever read one of his books?
Yes.
No. So your whole opinion's based on what? A couple of lines you saw in the Daily Mail last Sunday. I mean, it's ridiculous. But you can't tell them, so I just delete them and get on with your own life.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I've just sung a song about the lizards being real.
Which is great, which is a great step. And that's why I wanted to get you on the show, because apart from it being good fun and a good song and true, it's to encourage anybody else watching this. I mean, one of the things I don't know if you've seen any of my poems, but
yes, I have. Yes.
I'm getting poems from all over the world. I'm getting emails every day going, I've written this poem. You've inspired me to write this poem. And I'm like, wow. And that creativity, that act of creativity is the God frequency, whether you like to call it that or not. But it's like, it's the frequency of creativity, and it's tapping into your higher self, because we are souls we're spirits having a human experience, not humans having a spiritual experience.
Right.
So the whole spiritual side of it has to be addressed in a common sense and normal way. It's nothing to do with religion. It's nothing to do with your school RE lessons. It's none of that. All of that was designed to put you off God.
Yeah.
By making you into God, or making you bounce off God, because they wanted you to believe that you were separate and meaningless, right?
Yeah.
And how many people feel meaningless and alone? And the fact is, you are not meaningless. You're a miracle of creation. The odds of you getting here in the first place are billions to one, and you're incredible. And this is an incredible planet. But we've had all of that taken away from us, so that we accept this cradle to grave bullshit, where we give away our entire energy, all of our lives, and we just get fed on. And it's not just taking our money in taxes, which is theft. It's not just taking our health by giving us shit food and then giving us pharmaceuticals and then making sure we don't live very long, which is what's happened to so many of my relatives. It makes me fucking sick. It's not only all of that, it's also your soul energy, and fear creates loosh. You know about loosh, right?
No, I don't know about that. I am new to all this. So
one of the biggest sources of food for these creatures is called loosh, and it's an energy we release when we're in a state of fear. So Tesla said, think about everything in terms of frequency if you want to understand the planet and you want to understand the universe. And we are just a frequency. And when even with music, do you know about the fact that they changed the frequency of music from 432 to 435 or something?
I heard that, yes.
Don't shout at me if I get it wrong, but it was switched because there's a harmonic frequency of music which we all love and makes us and heals us. You can be healed through music. The same as a cat heals itself by purring. That's why cats have 9 lives, because they can fix their own bones with their purring. Right. This frequency is a real thing. They shifted that. It's been a full spectrum attack. It's amazing we're still here, Adam.
Yes.
It's amazing you've written the song, because you live in the most fluoridated water area of England. Did you know that?
I did know that, but only 4.5 months ago. So yeah, it's amazing I got the first part of this song.
It is, yeah. But this is as Sasha Stone says, arise Homo sapiens. This is the human race rising, because in many ways it's not actually our fault that we've been trapped into this, because they get us right before birth.
Yes.
They get us, they have us, most of us are born in a satanic birthing ritual in the last 100 years at least. We don't even know that. Our parents are duped into signing a birth certificate. We don't know, because we're 0 years old. They sign this thing, it becomes a financial instrument. They trade it. We're all owed millions, right? Just from that alone, let alone the taxes, which are all stolen and theft, let alone every bank transfer you've ever done, which is theft. These guys have been, literally, we're a farm. We've been nothing more than a farm. And they throw a few things at us like, the lottery or cocaine or, beer. They throw these things at us just to keep us like numbed enough to not care. And then we get cancer and we die. And that is the typical life of a British person, an American person, an Irish person. And we've lost connection with the land. We've lost connection with animals. We've lost, all the people that eat meat would never dare go and chop a chicken's head off.
No, that's true.
But they should, because Tesco have sanitized it and put it in little packets. Yeah. It's all this disconnection from the way the world really works. And what's happening at the moment is that the frequency of the planet is actually changed. The frequency of the universe has changed. We are literally in a different dimension, and dimensions are just frequencies. So we're in a higher frequency. we've got in spiritual circles, they'll call it ascension and 5D or whatever you want to call it. But it is happening. It's happening. It's happening now. And that's why the songs are coming to you.
Right.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. Well, more. I don't want to stop that happening.
No, you got to do more of it.
I'm gonna try. I mean, I'm just gonna keep trying to learn about all this stuff and keep trying to communicate it through music.
Well, intuition, right? I'll give you a few intuition tips that was taught to me a few years ago.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. Because this is really about, when I decide to do anything now, I wait for the feeling that I get, because it's literally, when you hear truth, you get a frequency come through you, right. And then you know that it's the right thing to do. But if there's a few pressure points on your head, there's one behind your ear here. If you hold that in and push on it, just that in the corner bit, just behind your ear at the bottom of your skull. Yeah. If you press on it and deep breathe in and out, just hold that for 30 seconds. And then there's another one just here. If you hold this just behind your eye, this bit here, okay, pushing on that for 30 seconds. And then under your arm here, you've got this muscle at the top, your shoulder muscle, where it forms a V at the bottom, push in there for 30 seconds. Do that both sides. And if you did that 3 or 4 times a day, you will start having phenomenal psychic experiences.
Right. Okay.
Which are amazing. And what you're doing is you're opening up a channel. In fact, before I called you, I just got I just had a really, somebody very kindly offered me a body correction spinal adjustment thing on Zoom. Oh, right. Because I'd given her some free PDFs. She said, well, let me do this for you. So I just spent 2 hours in the back room next to the drum kit, because I've got a drum kit in there, walking up and down and correcting my posture, because I've spent all of this year sat in this position. Yeah, and I'm stooping, and it's caused me back issues and all sorts. And I was just laughing. She said, well, I don't know why I felt the need to contact you to do this. And I said, well, because I needed it, and you needed me to tell you what I told you, and that's what's going on. And this is us in unity consciousness, because there is only one field of consciousness, and we're just an expression of that, or a fractal of God, or whatever terminology you want to use. I think we're all going to find out fairly soon anyway.
I think we are. I mean, what's going to happen with this? Is there a solar flare on the soon?
Well, on the winter solstice on the 21st of December, there's a very unique planetary lineup, and lots of prophecies and lots of indigenous population, prophecies have said this is an extremely important date. And if you listen to, my intuition is that it's a very important date, and then we're going to see. Well, I was talking to JCK about it the other day, and I don't know if you've seen JCK on my channel at all or watched any of her visions, but she has a very, very strong feeling about that day. That's all I'll say, because it's up to her to share.
Okay.
But she's not the only one. There's loads of and it feels like there's a ticking clock. And I've personally felt I've been prepared for this time. I'm not perfect. I still smoke, and I'm have the occasional glass of wine, but I'm nowhere near what I used to have, and I'm eating a lot more salad. All of these things sound really trivial, but actually they add up. A lot more organic salads, over meat, a lot less fried food, sitting on the grass, just doing stuff, meditating, hugging trees, going for walks in nature. These things are all preparation, right? They're all preparation for this new frequency, which is already coming in. But I think the 21st is going to be an interesting day. Put it that way. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting day. But I do, it's also a question of how you perceive time, because really this awakening's been going on for a long time. It's just that as you get higher, as you get closer to the top of the mountain, you become aware of it more, don't you?
Yes. Yeah. I see what you mean. Yeah. Yeah.
I remember going up on mountain walks in my teens, and the instructor saying, don't look at the top of the mountain, just look at the next ridge. And eventually that next ridge is the top. Yes. But you've got to get to the next ridge, and it's kind of like just persevere, and we get there, because it's a personal journey for all of us, and it's not a competition.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. One of the things as well that I found when I was writing this song is you just can't talk to people about this stuff.
Well, you can. You're talking to me.
Yeah, yourself, obviously. But the average, no, that's not right either. Just people who are haven't asked these questions, it's so hard to talk to them.
No, I understand that, I think it's partly because they're a lot more visible. The ones that don't question it are out and about with their masks on, thinking that wearing a mask and going about your normal day is the new normal, right? So they bought into all that bullshit, but I think there's a very big group of people that do know what's going on, have woken up, and are keeping a low profile.
Yeah.
So
particularly in America, I think the percentage of people who are aware of all this is much greater.
I couldn't answer that. I mean, someone in America might say it the other way around. But yeah, I mean, it does seem that way. But there's 350 million people in America, and there's like 60 in the UK. So, or 70. I don't know what the up to date. I think they're all made up numbers anyway. I think there's far less people in the world than they tell us anyway.
That could be very true as well, because everything's a lie, isn't it?
Everything's a lie. Just if you start from that premise. And then that's when you start looking for. But what amazes me is how few people want to look.
Yeah.
I mean, I put up a thing on Facebook the other day of the guy that is the vice president of the company that makes the masks, saying this is the biggest hoax in human history. he said, and I profit from making these masks, but these masks don't work. And I'm sick of this now. I've got to tell everybody. So you put it on Facebook. Oh, right. Yeah. And then they put the mask on to go to school because we're so easy to control.
Well, there's been that Danish mask study, hasn't there, where half of them wore masks, half of them didn't. No different.
Well, yeah, there was one difference. The ones wearing the mask had a 20% reduction in their immune system, which is the best vaccine you can have.
Yes.
This is take zinc, eat these. It's pretty simple.
Yeah,
it's
really.
A fucking cold.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even if the virus did exist, it's a cold. But even if it did, I mean, the coronavirus is in all of the books, all the medical books going back 100 years, the common cold, right?
Yeah.
COVID-19, it doesn't even mean coronavirus. They're just giving it that name because it's a certificate of identification and vaccination 19 years since 9/11. That's what it really means. And that you can, how dumbed down we've become, that you can't catch a virus. A virus is something that happens inside your body as a reaction to overtoxification. So you can't catch it. It's already there. So everybody's going to test positive, except the tests don't work either because you can't isolate a single strain because it's constantly mutating. So, that's just common sense to me, but everybody's forgotten common sense.
I can't believe how everyone's not a conspiracy theorist, as they call people like us now.
Well, the thing is,
this pandemic.
The term conspiracy theorist was invented by the CIA in 1963 so that you shut down an argument of anybody that questioned JFK's murder.
Yes.
So they just say, oh, he's a conspiracy theorist. And as soon as you do that, you divide and conquer.
Yeah.
So you're suddenly, one of my friends thinks I've joined a religion, thinks I'm in a cult. Like what, the cult of thinking for yourself? Is that the one I'm in? Which one are you in? The one that reads The Guardian every day? Yeah, you're in a fucking cult. What are you talking about? So, yeah, I mean, I know everybody should be asking questions, not believing me or anybody else they watch, because that's the other thing. You go on YouTube, you start spouting, and then people go, oh, I noticed there was a speck of dust on Mark's glasses last week, which must mean he's part of the anti-dust movement conspiracy, which means that invalidates everything he said in episode 2 of the Abracadabra Code. And it's like, for fuck's sake, no, grow a pair of balls and start listening to and be yourself.
When I first started writing this song, we were still allowed to play sports. Somebody elbowed me in the face playing football. I got black eye. I can't go out the house now.
I've had a few black eyes.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the Vril have never taken me over, and I've certainly never had adrenochrome. And all of those fuckers that have, their time's coming. They've been taken down. They're already gone, right?
Yeah.
And the way I don't know what you think to this, but I'm having this conversation pretty much every day. And I always come to the same conclusion, and that is that they've already gone. They're already done. And the good guys have been at this for a very, very long time, because it just stands to reason. If you've got a group of people that are so well organized to be able to turn this planet or this realm into a farm and literally the animals in the farm, i.e. us, have no idea that they're being farmed. It's like the chickens in Chicken Run.
Yeah.
You know, you remember that Wallace and Gromit guy?
I remember that. Yeah.
I can't fly, I'm a chicken. Guys, you're going to get turned into meat. No, we're not. Don't be ridiculous. It's that's what it's like. You know, it's just extra. So it stands to reason, if they could get organized enough to do that, that there are, you know, that there must be some good people on the planet in positions of wealth and power that could actually get organized to go against them. And I think JFK was that point in history where, whether he actually died or not, I mean, there's some people saying he's still alive. I mean, I'm not closing any idea down.
No,
because until I see the proof, I mean, I've seen the thing being, you know, the man being shot, but you know, I now know clones have been around for hundreds of years. You know, you know, it's not new technology. So
I'm struggling with the clone thing myself at the moment, but you know, I'm just there's certain things that I'm not ready for yet.
Well, yeah, I know what you mean, but they come when you're ready. I mean, it's all about, you know, some of these ideas are like rocks in our heads, and sometimes the rock just needs to be dropped onto the right pavement to shatter open, and you know, it comes. What I am saying to people is going to come. You better get on with it, because because I know that the shift that's coming is going to be massively traumatic. And what I was saying about having good guys organized enough to do something against this, so permanently it doesn't happen again, stands to reason in my mind. And they had to think long term as well. I mean, the protocols of the Elders Design go back at least 500 years. They long term thinking, right? And you know, you know, there has to be balance in the universe. There has to be good and evil balance, like dark, light. I mean, everything's duality, everything, male, female, dark, light, it's all there. So that's just natural law. So, and we all have a part to play. And, you know, writing a song and putting it up on YouTube is an act of sovereignty, an act of rebellion, and an act of truth. And, you know, I commend you for that. And anybody watching this, if you've got any songs in you, any poems, any writing, any desire to do anything that helps raise the frequency and wake people up, go and do it. Do it now. You know, I had a phone call just now from somebody in Mexico who was telling me about how she got recruited into a government organization. At the age of 20, she was told, if you ever get promoted to higher management in this organization, expect to be recruited into a club full of sexual deviants. And she thought that was a really weird thing for them to say. And then she said 20 years later, she got promoted and they invited her to join this club. And then when they realized she wasn't going to be in it, she then told me they tried to kill her 20 times. They gang stalked her. They did all sorts of terrible things to her. And somehow she's still here. She said she felt like Mr. Magoo. You just somehow kept missing them. And that is spiritual protection when that happens. You know, people say the same thing to David Icke. Why have you not been taken out? He said, well, because it just doesn't exist in my paradigm, because he understands the nature of reality. Well, he understands it better than most anyway.
Yes, yeah. I'm trying to read his book at the moment. It takes it's taken a while to go in, but it's fascinating stuff. I thought I'd have to read it, being as a song about lizards being real.
Well, the thing is, they are real. And there's a Twitter account called JFK Jr., which is obviously not JFK Jr., but it's somebody like who put up a thing yesterday about the Vril. Have you heard of the Vril?
Yes, yeah.
VRIL. Anybody watching this? They go back. You know, our knowledge of the Vril goes back thousands and thousands of years. And these are little reptile-type creatures with a protubus that sticks in your eye, and literally your consciousness dies, theirs takes over. But you retain the memories of the person. This explains why you've got so many horrific people in government and running businesses who literally don't care about the human race at all, but are very good at acting as if they do. And that goes back to, that's related to the SS and Hitler and everything. There was, you know, anybody watching this, go and research the Vril Society. Look it up. I mean, there's tons of information about this. So this concept of, and you know, the other thing when I was watching your video with the reptilians, Do you remember I don't know how old you are. You look younger than me, but there was a series in the 80s, an American series called V. Did you ever see that?
I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, that was them telling us exactly what they were doing.
Yes.
Reptilians in human faces.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of this kind of signal. It's like they sort of get off on the fact that they show us, and then sort of it's there. But
well, there's two concepts there. One is hidden in plain sight. Right? Yeah. So all the symbolism. Once you understand the symbolism, you won't buy a HB ice cream ever again.
No,
because that's a pedo logo on there, guys and gals. Get rid of it. So the symbolism is right in your face. They put it. We're buying ice creams with a paedophile symbol and giving it to our children. God knows what's in the fucking ice cream, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Because they're killing us with all of it. And do you know who was part of the team that created the modern ice cream? Margaret Thatcher in the 1950s as a chemist. Right. She knew what was going on. Yeah. She was the daughter of a paedophile. And she was surrounded by pedos in a cabinet. And she had Jimmy Savile at Chequers every year for Christmas for 11 years. It tells you all you need to know. Yeah. Ted Heath before her was murdering children. They all were. They all have been for thousands of years. That's what they do. Yeah. So hidden in plain sight is one of them, one of their key things. The other thing is they have to tell us what they're going to do before they do it to avoid the law of karma. I don't know if you've heard of Ollie Dammegard, who's a Scandinavian. I can't remember whether he's Danish or Swedish or whatever. Sorry, Ollie, if you're watching. But he's an amazing researcher who initially dug into, I think it was the Swedish Prime Minister who was murdered about 20, 30 years ago. And it was a bit like JFK. And he dug into that and realized there was loads of foul play there. And then from there, he became an expert in false flags. So every time there was a false flag, like 2016 Paris attack, Muslim terrorists going into a nightclub and everything, he would investigate it. And every false flag, because there's a big state of false flags before Trump got elected. Yeah. And there's not been any recently, has there? There's not been very many of those school killings. And it's weird how they disappeared. Weird also how America's not invaded anywhere for 4 years. Yes. So this is what I mean about the good guys being in charge. There's world peace for 4 years. We've had world peace for 4 years. Yeah. So the law of karma. So there was this famous one. I think it was one of the shootings. I think it was the shooting in Paris where there was a picture of the Eiffel Tower on its side in one of the cafes that they used in their pictures that went into the media. So they were prophesizing or telling us they were going to blow up the Eiffel Tower next. And lo and behold, a few months later, a big van full of explosives failed to go off at the foot of the Eiffel Tower. Right. And part of the way Ollie describes it is when enough of us become aware of the plan, it doesn't work. Right. But they still have to tell us because they don't want to get affected by the law of karma because they understand all these spiritual universal laws that have been hidden from us. Right. Which is why you've got all these secret societies and the mystery schools and all of these ancient texts that have been hidden away for forever and ever because they literally how can you keep sheep in a field when the sheep know they're going to be had their head chops off? Yeah. By the same people that are keeping them in the field. Yeah, they wouldn't stay there, would they?
I mean, it's funny because before these songs started coming to me, I would have just said you're talking bollocks and not.
Who, me?
Yeah, I would have closed-minded on all of this, but now I'm approaching everything with an open mind because I've seen so much this summer. And with the songs coming to me, that to me is magic in itself.
It is.
And I was watching a talk by Russell Targ the other day. He was a CIA. He worked for the CIA, and he trained people in remote viewing.
Yes.
He was like he was basically in charge of all the best psychics.
Well, do you know the only thing that had more money spent on it in the military than remote viewing was nuclear weapons?
Wow.
They spent billions and billions on it. And it's really worth reading some books on it. It's fascinating.
Yeah, you see, even if people are like me, like I was 4 years ago, you've still got to look at the real evidence that the CIA take this stuff very seriously.
Of course they do. So look at the Germans.
Yeah.
You know, look at Raiders of the Lost Ark and the Germans looking for the Ark of the Covenant. All that's real. All that's true.
Yeah.
Why did they spend so much time looking for these artifacts?
Yeah.
They know. They knew.
There's rumors that they went into Iraq.
Yeah, there's a portal in Iraq, apparently, a big one. And there's just tons of it. The planet is not what we think it is.
No.
Nothing is true. Nothing you've seen in the media is true, or it's controlled information.
Yeah, or it's just slightly tweaked to suit their agenda.
Well, it's, you know, back to the religion thing. You know, why did the Bible have the books of Enoch taken out of it? Council of Nicaea, 300 AD. Why did it all get rewritten? Because we are spiritual. It's back to this thing. We are spiritual beings. So they couldn't stop us feeling spiritually connected to things, right? They couldn't stop that. So what they did is they created a false version of it, which they could control.
Yeah.
You know, and then they feed off our energy. So they built all the churches on ley lines. They had paedophile priests. They buggered all the boys that went to seminary, made sure that they were paedophiles, so that they would continue with the buggery and all of that stuff. They had satanic things built under the churches where they would murder and mutilate, and that's how they've done it for thousands of years. But their time is up.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how people like yourself coped not waking up, because that's a shit term, but just realizing all this stuff 20 years ago.
Well, I didn't really. I mean, I drank a lot. I lost my marriage. I became suicidal. I've paid the price.
Right.
I've paid the price for this. Let me tell you.
I can imagine, because I've woken up again. Yeah, I keep saying it, but I've kind of become aware of this all summer because I was trying to write this song and go as far into conspiracies as I could. But there's a lot of hope at the moment around. There's the QAnon movement. There's all these things that give people hope. Trump, you know, he's against the deep state. So there's a lot of hope. I do believe this is a military operation as well.
This is a spiritual operation. This is good versus evil, and there are good people in the military and there are bad people in the military, the same as there are in every organization.
Yeah.
The people that are working with Trump, the Q team and the alliance across the world, these are people that are spiritually have chosen the right path. That's the path of righteousness, which is just the correct thing to do, right? We all inherently know the difference between good and evil, good and bad, and it's just, the cleverest thing about all of this is that they understand humans so well that your average human being, when you say, yeah, they eat babies, are just going to go, no, don't believe you.
Yeah.
I've got friends that say that. They're just like you lost me there. You lost me at the lizards. You lost me at the eating babies. And I'm like, why? Why did I lose you at that? Well, because it's ridiculous. Nobody would ever do that. And that's the problem, because they think that they're the same as them, and they're not. So therefore, the only conclusion you can come to is that they're not human.
Yeah.
And that I believe is the truth. They're not human. So this is a fight for the existence of the human race. And I'm part of that. And I will die, if necessary, to defend us.
Well,
I'm too old to be in the army, so I'll do it on YouTube. I'll throw a lemon at the heads.
I'll make some songs about it as you're dying.
No, I don't want to die. I want to see the other side of this. But
I'd like to.
What I mean is, you've got to get to the point where you don't care if you do or you don't, because there's some things that are more important than you.
Yeah.
You know, I've got 5 children. That's important, but it's not just them. It's their children, and it's everybody's children, and it's all the children, all these children that have been, the billion children have been stolen from us.
Yeah. And
trillions of pounds of our hard-earned money has been stolen from us. All of our rights have been stolen from us. We're less than farm animals to these monsters.
Yeah.
No, then fuck it. I've had enough. You know, at some point you're going to say I've had enough.
Yeah.
But you can't say that until you realise what's going on.
Well, I've only been doing it for 4 months, and I've had enough.
It's tiring, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, but you're doing great. And have you got more songs in the works?
Yeah, I've got loads of songs. It's just, you know, getting time to record them properly and you know, make videos and stuff.
Well, my advice is get them out. You know, just get them out.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that.
And you know, don't be a perfectionist. I mean, I've been working in marketing for quite a long time, and one of the things I picked up on the way from another marketer in America was imperfect action is always preferable to perfect inaction.
Yeah. Okay.
So if I write a poem, I will throw it straight up on Facebook, even though it's full of misspellings or I'm not quite finished it, because I want to see what the reaction is. And then I'll go and record it, and then I'll have to make a video. So it can be like a week before I get it out.
Yes.
Or it could be longer, you know, but I'm trying to get a faster way of getting them out, because it's better to get them out imperfectly than wait until you've got this polished product. Because this is like, what we've got to realize is that none of this is about fame and fortune for any of us in this sort of awakening thing. Because, you know, if I want to be famous and rich, why would I start a channel where I'm talking to a guy in Birmingham about a song about lizards and a paedophile? I mean, it's not exactly a popularity.
No.
It's not going to go on your CV as a kid. Go, yeah, I think I want to do that. It doesn't make, you know, it makes you very unpopular with some people.
Yes.
But fuck them. If they haven't woken up now, fuck them, because I don't think they're human either. They can't be, because if you can't after this year, if you can't see what your government's been doing to you, then bye bye.
Yeah.
Go on to another planet. Let us get on with it.
Yeah. Well,
so I'm getting quite Trotskyist now.
I'm not surprised after 20 years.
30, really.
Wow.
Yeah. But, you know, we've all got our parts to play, and it's lovely to meet you, Adam, and let us know when you got more songs on. And everybody watching this, I'll put a link to Adam's song. Is there any other way people can get hold of you, or they just go on your YouTube
yeah,
channel?
I'm on Twitter as well, as I say, everyone is. But the one thing I'd say is, if people are struggling with talking to people, play them my song instead, and then it's not a clash of egos.
Yeah, and you got humor in it, and this is a great bridge.
Yeah, it's a bit daft.
If it breaks the ice and makes somebody giggle a bit, then you know, I think that's a really good way forward, because the confrontational stuff just doesn't work.
No, it doesn't. It becomes a battle of ego. Then you just bashing off each other.
It goes nowhere. It's like Man City, Villa versus Albion. It's just like, wait, it's never going to change, is it? In that respect. But all of those fans love football.
Yes, that's it. We all love the same game.
Exactly, and I think that's the key to this, is the children. When people really understand what's been going on with the children, that's it. All political divides will dissolve instantly.
Yes, and as one of Trump's attorneys is saying, I think that's coming out sooner, within the next year or so.
Well, it's going to be sooner than that. It's got to be.
Yeah.
But look, it's great. Thanks for coming on and chatting.
Thanks for having me on.
That's a pleasure. And everybody go and check out Adam. So if you're watching this and you're new to the channel, join my email list. It's below the video. Is the best way for me to stay in touch. And let's chat. Let's do this again sometime, Adam. When you bring out your next song, give us a ring.
I'll get on it. And I'll keep watching you for more information.
Cool. Well, you're very welcome. I'll see you later.